8:04 on TSN 690. Game night Montreal. Matthew Ross subbing in for Eric Thomas. Mo Khan here as well. Stefano Micella, too. And Marco Polo on the board. That music is very apropos for our next guest. He is a host with TSN 1050 in Toronto in the mornings at 9 with Mako and Cauz. You can also check out his work on CFL.ca, and what an interesting CFL season it's been in the East. You can follow him on Twitter.com. How about that, too? MCauz, C-A-U-Z, 56 on Twitter. It's Matt Cauz. How you doing, buddy?
You know what? No one gives a better promo than Matthew Ross. It needs to be said right now. I'm doing great. You should probably hate me right now.
Why?
I'm literally standing on the edge of my dock, staring out of the lake, and I just had dinner. And we actually moved the table to the dock so we could be closer to the water with dinner.
So it's basically anything to ensure that reception's going to be bad with Matt Cauz, right?
Hold on.
You've gotten
No.
You've gotten as close to the water as possible.
Hold on, I think it could be better. Let's face it. I've done interviews with you guys where I've been in my condo and been outside, and it's dropped. And I should tell you right now, I've done some radio in Edmonton and Winnipeg, and it's been crystal clear. But then I did it with Ottawa. This is for you guys. I did it in Ottawa, and the same thing. We're having a discussion probably about Henry Burris, and then suddenly, boom, the power went, my phone again died. So This is not just a Montreal thing. Okay. This is not a 514 area code thing. This happens throughout. But no, I'm sitting at the edge of my dock. I'm feeling good.
All right. Now, Matt, it's a good night for you to be out there relaxing because the Jays are off tonight, right? So you don't have that stress. How is the mood right now?
Here's the worst part.
Yeah.
You're probably asking me a question right now, and then my phone actually just legitimately died.
No.
Wait, no, you're back. I heard
You see what happens with Matt Cauz every time he calls us?
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here.
Matt, Jays, the mood in Toronto right now about the
Horrible.
Jays.
Horrible. I'm going to tell you right now, it's absolutely horrible. The Seattle series was interesting because the first game, everyone was fine. Okay, they're going to lose to Felix Hernandez. They played 47 innings against Detroit. We're fine with it. But then they got swept. But then it's like, okay, Seattle has the best rotation in baseball. They're going after a record that hasn't happened in 40 years since Oakland in the early 70s, and that being a team having the entire team having a collective ERA under 3. So people are like, okay, well, let's wait and see what happens against Chicago. And they lose two or three against the horrible White Sox. So, no, the mood right now is what it should be. It's happening again. For a second year in a row, our expectations got raised. 2 years ago, it got raised before the season begun. This year, the expectations got raised during the year. And the offense was great and some young pitchers, and it's all going straight to hell again. The atmosphere and the mood is horrible in Toronto, and it should be. And actually, Matt, just make sure I still got you, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this, because you and Mo and everyone else, we work in sports media, and how do you feel when the sports fan gets upset after a Jays loss and says the season is over? What goes through your head?
Well, that never happens with the Canadians, right? But yeah, it happens. It happens all the time.
Yep.
It's it's justified if it's a few games in a row and you see a pattern and guys underperforming. If it's one game, I really don't think it's the end of the world, and there's just a lot of overreaction. But you guys got Encarnacion back. You must have been happy, and Adam Lynn. I mean, there's got to be some hope.
You know what, though? The problem is, and I'll finish my quick point, is that what I'm tired of is a lot of sports media in Toronto, they get angry when the fans get upset over a couple losses. And what bothers me about that is that sports are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be a place where you can be irrational. So I'm fine when fans, every now and then, if they want to freak out. If they do it all the time, well, then it's going to lose its impact. What I'm trying to say is I'm fine with it when fans freak out, and they are right now. And I know that Lind and Edwin is back into the lineup, but it's not about that. It's about the big picture. It's about a team that hasn't made the playoffs since 1993. It's about a team that cries poor, yet they're filthy rich. And we've talked about this before, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with fans freaking out, nervous, thinking that's it, the playoffs are, they are a dream. Because it's not that Toronto is chasing one team. They're chasing Seattle, Kansas City, Detroit. New York is not that far off. Even though Toronto has a great schedule coming up, there are so many other teams either ahead of them or just slightly behind them. I get why fans are upset and why fans are nervous.
What do you got? What do you got? Some music in the background there?
Oh, so you can hear it. Yeah,
it's perfect for you, Matt. We wouldn't expect anything less than classical music in the background with a good glass of wine.
Okay, well, the glass of wine is a right bank Bordeaux. And if you want to know the difference between right bank and left bank, I'll tell you, but I don't need to. But yeah, there's some sort of like Spanish. It's not me, it's a friend. They've set up some like Spanish guitar music playing in the background. I was actually going to go with Arcade Fire, which we're going to hear later, which is not me trying to pander to Montreal, but Arcade Fire is the greatest band on the planet today.
Matt, what is more ugly, the Argos uniforms from yesterday or home attendance?
Oh, my God. Oh, Mo. Damn you for asking such a good question. I'm going to go with home attendance. I'm absolutely going to go with home attendance. The game, it's gorgeous weather. It's a Sunday, and then the past game against Winnipeg, same thing. It's a Tuesday. What else do people have to do? And the weather was really nice, and Ricky Ray was unbelievable against the Blue Bombers and horrible against the Lions. It is the home attendance. It is such a shame. We are now 2 years away from when Toronto hosted the Grey Cup. Any enthusiasm, any marketing, any buzz, any momentum, whatever words you want to use, it is gone. And the problem is Toronto is bad, and the East is bad, and there's no great rivalries, and all the fun, exciting players are hurt. No offense, Curtis Steele. No one's going to pay to watch you run the ball. The uniforms, I'm okay with it. Listen, let's face it, most third uniforms are horrible, but the attendance, it's shameful, and it makes me sad as a sports fan, as a CFL fan, as an Argo fan. It makes me sad.
Matt, you brought up a great point, which is rivalries, and I've been saying this for a long, long time, and I had a conversation with the Alouettes COO, Mark Whiteman, a few months ago about it, and I said, maybe Ottawa will be great for you because of rivalries. The number one thing that's missing in the CFL for fan interest is rivalries, whether it's nasty or not, whether it's controversial or not, whether it's personal, whether it's, made up. It doesn't matter. There needs to be a conscious effort between TSN, the broadcaster, the teams, the league, etc., whether it's secretive, behind the scenes, whatever it is. There has to be some hate and some fan rivalry involved. You can't just say, hey, we give away food to, through Purolator, and we have a great product on tonight, and there's nothing else to do in the summer in Canada, so come watch our game. There has to be an absolute hatred for a specific player or team or whatever, and they just they don't get it, Matt. They don't get it.
You know what? You're right. Once Ed Fillion, retired from Montreal, it's like, well, who are we going to hate now? And the problem is, for the great rivals occur usually when teams are good, when there's a lot of talented players, but you don't have that in the East. In the East, it's a simple script. Every Eastern team gets its ass whooped by the West, and then when they play against each other, it's which team commits less than 19 penalties, and they usually win. This is not a great year for the CFL. There are some good stories here and there, but you don't have the rivalries, and the rivalries happen when teams are good. You don't have Montreal's not a rival to anyone because Calvil's hurt, and everyone's wondering when Jeff Garcia is going to throw the ball 40 times a game. I mean, let's face it. Trust me, we're all waiting for that. But and you know what? It's true. There aren't the great rivalries right now. I need more from Odell Willis. I need Nick Lewis to be healthy. I feel bad for Chad Johnson. He could have been a bigger story, but even he's not that much of a story because, your quarterback plays so horrible in Montreal. And you know what? It's true. I mean, that's one of the things that makes any league good is rivalries. We love hate. We love sports hate. I love sports hate. It's what I loved about Crosby versus Ovechkin in the late aughts. I don't know what we call 2000, 2009. I just say aughts.
I like that. That's good. But you mentioned there's some good players that guys like Arlen Bruce and Avon Coburn were great. Were great for the league.
Oh, I miss Arlen Bruce so much. He'd put on a goofy, Spider-Man mask, and he would say horrible things. Same thing with Avon Coburn. You miss those guys. You miss Otis Floyd, linebacker in Hamilton back in the day. When they had some great linebackers. And, we don't have that. We don't have the trash talk, and the CFL in the past has had that sort of thing, and we don't right now because this feels like a transitional year for most of the league. I mean, who's really the best team? I mean, I guess it sort of feels like Calgary, but even them, they're not as dominant as they were last year.
He is Matt Cauz, wherever he is. You can follow him on twitter.com/mcauz56 or check out CFL.ca. There's some classical music for you, Matt.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
So for everyone out there, left bank Bordeaux means Cabernet Sauvignon is the dominant grape. Right bank Bordeaux means it's Merlot. If you just hear that one thing, use that in a conversation, suddenly you too can sound snooty when talking about wine.
Oh, Matt, you don't need wine to sound snooty. You know that.
How dare you.
Thanks a lot.
Line to end this with.
All right, there you go. It is TSN 690's Game Night in Montreal. I'm subbing in Matthew Ross for Eric Thomas. We're monitoring the Washington and Cleveland preseason game and so much more. Stay tuned. Other side of the break, we'll talk about Major League Baseball scoreboard and the playoff chases. Stay tuned.